Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a full-ish tour of Legoland Windsor for the 2022 season. Now the reason why I say ish, as you'll see in a second, just to the right hand side, it is actually all blocked off. Now that goes all the way down to the spinning spiders at the bottom, which means you can't get on the Viking Splash either. But I think it's because they're in the process of resorting out the Rebuild the World section, because there is a banner that we are about to see just here. And this one just there is to do with their 90th year of play. So they've got obviously either they're rebranding everything on the inside, and it's just going to be all different building zones and things like that, because their 90th birthday is in the process of being celebrated currently of me doing this voiceover, but this was filmed just before they got everything going and they're putting up all the artwork and things, so everybody had to come down either by the trams, which we saw before the battery ran out, that's what hence that really smooth edit was, or everybody has to walk down this way. So I would imagine that was only going to be closed for a couple of days and it was all going to be reopened again for the Ninjago weekend. That's now going to be running for the next 4 or 5 weeks, and then it will just progress and be open from there on in. So in the comments below, guys, let us know if that is back open. Let me know what is in there as well and how much it has changed compared to what it used to be for the Rebuild the World, because that is also the model making studio, so you couldn't go and see that at the time of the visit, which is a little bit of a shame because they have got some nice models up there. But next time I go back, I'll make sure I get it filmed. So as you came from the entrance, we just had the big shop. You've got a coffee co area, so that's where you can just grab a drink. You've got the toilet block up there, and then you can come down. So if you go in the straight line, which is what I'm going to do now, you've got the slides to the left and right hand side. Now there is a pushchair / wheelchair access on the way down from here on the left hand side, where you can miss the steps and keep going, or you can just turn right, which is the way I did it in the beginning video. So I went a different way in that one for you, and then you walk down just a not as violent slope, and then you actually do hit some more models at the end with regards to like the aeroplanes and all the different bits and pieces like that. But this way we have all these heads, they will be singing We Will Rock You or other different bits and pieces like that. But as you can see, there's at least two smaller ones there, a couple of bigger ones, and it's just very much a case of spot the different Lego models within the grass area. That is obviously a good photo opportunity for a lot of people as well, so I think that's why they've taken all the shrubbery and everything out, because a lot of people tend to run up to there now and just get their photo taken. So I think that's a new thing they've done for 2022 as well. Now you can either go in a straight line, which then loops you round for your wheelchair and pushchair access, or you can just torpedo down these steps, which is what I'm going to do now, and then we will make the best of what way we can possibly go. And again, so you can see just the right hand side, that's where the pushchairs are going up, and then there's another bit to the right hand side where that will take you into the miniland. This bit is now the imagination center. So the T-Rex, the reason why it's wet on the floor is because it now blows mist out of its nose rather than smoke. You've got the minifig and more section to the right hand side that was closed. The Lego Reef was open, even though those doors were locked for some reason, but you can see on the other side they are open. But where those doors were locked, there is the Bugatti there. All of this is available in completely different videos, so this is literally just a guided tour of what's where in the park, and then we do manage to get on things and go inside different things with regards to the different lands that we go in. So the Imagination Centre tour, we do go into the Lego Reef, we see how everything gets built up, we see the Bugatti, we see it working and everything like that, and we have a bit more of a detailed look at all the lands, whereas this is very much a case of just spot what you can spot, and then we will walk around. It is already 35 minutes long, and as always you just start running out of time towards the end of the day, but I did want to get this done. Now that is the education centre. I do believe that was being used in the morning, so there might have been some schools down and doing some different bits and pieces, because it did say workshop in progress in the morning, and then that sign had moved. Now a couple of benches up at the top, which is quite nice, and then you've got a little pay to play just there where you've got the vehicles, and again you can go two ways on that way. You can either loop it round, which takes you into the miniland, or you can carry on walking in a straight line down this way. This way then takes you to what is, I do believe, never going to reopen again. It used to be the Team Extreme slides, then that changed to the River Races or something along those lines. Now they've taken all the artwork away. The slides are still there, but they have taken all the artwork away, so I would imagine over some point these slides are going to get ripped up, because they didn't open, I do believe, last year either. So you can see where the queue line is with this blue bit just here, and it wraps around and you come up the stairs, and then I did have a quick look and all the slides and everything are still there. You did get absolutely drenched on this ride, but it just took ever to get on. The queue was always long. So it'd be very interesting to see what they do with this, because it is linked between the Imagination Centre and in the Duplo section, so it's kind of lost where it is. So I'm not too sure if they're going to make it more Duplo based, if they're just going to put something else there. If you're in the know and you know, or you've got any guesses whatsoever, let's start having a good conversation in the comments below, because I would love to know what's going to go there, because that has always been there for as long as I can remember. When it used to be Team Extreme, they had different theming, and it used to be a golf course there before the Duplo Valley opened, which is what we're going to be walking into now. This whole section used to be basically nothing down in front, and then to the left hand side it used to be just golf courses and things. So as you came round from the miniland, which is that bit there, which we will have a bigger look at as we come back through. So as we come into Duplo Valley, this never used to be Duplo Valley, it just used to be your fairy tale brook. Then you used to walk up a little bit, there used to be a place to sit down, grab a bite to eat, and then you actually went up to like a golf shack. You paid to play for the golf, and it was like an 18-hole golf course. Now that is actually available in the Legoland Windsor 2021 players. I did actually find some old footage of that and added it in from back in the day, because I just happened to be filming something up there when I went up, and I've still managed to find the footage, which is quite nice. But you can see how colourful and bright the Duplo Valley is. You've got the roller coaster to the left hand side, you've got Duplo Playtown in the middle, which is just sort of like their little most hard play area, shall we say, rather than a soft play area where you've got all the slides and everything. That's a fairy tale brook that I was talking about, so you can see just the size of the Duplo Valley compared to what actually used to be there, because none of this used to be there at all. Like I said, it used to be just the Fairy Tale Brook golf course and then the Team Extremes. They've really built up and back. I will try and find some other footage of around this land and see if I can see what else used to be here, because I think the restaurant was always here, and which is directly in front of us in a very second. So you've got this bit, and then you've got the chicken bit just there, that nice big orange building, which was actually getting refurbed at the time because they are just waiting to get into their main season. So Farmer Joe's Chicken, they are getting there. Now to the right hand side, if I pan round quick enough, there is, which I don't, there is like a little entertainment bit where all the children sit down and they put on a show and tell for all the kids. That I think has always been there, but again the theming has obviously changed over the years, so I will see what I can do to try and find out. Now we are starting, if you are monitoring this on your map, we are going to come into the Lego City section. Now the reason why I snake around this way is there'll be a very sly battery change. You're never going to know that the battery's changed. It's hardly going to jump forward whatsoever, but we are coming to the bigger of the two driving schools. And then from the bigger of the two driving schools, we then just walk straight through down into the harbour, and then we'll go from there. So you had no idea that that has just changed whatsoever. See, you couldn't tell. It's not like we've moved on and we're in a completely different part of the park. So we've just missed a little bit because I carried on walking by the time I got the battery in. That is the entrance to the driving school. That is what we were walking past. There is a baby version to that to the right hand side. And then we've got this big roundabout that I always call it, where you've got all the different eateries all the way around in a circle. This does get very busy over lunch, because if you're having the barbecue bit or the hot dog bit, obviously all the queues do mix and match. So hopefully they might add some more sort of queue line bits so people don't end up getting stuck in the middle. Then you've just seen that we're just walking past the Coast Guard HQ. Then we've got all the watery bits to the right hand side. Left hand side is the boats from the Coast Guard HQ, and that is where you just go around and have a look at all the models and everything. So that's very similar to the ride that I've already uploaded from Dubai and also Legoland Billund as well. Didn't manage to get on that one again today because I found the day quite short, because the park itself shut at 4 and then the actual shop shut at 5, where I was in Billund the following day. And the park shut at 5 and then the shop shut at 6. So just losing basically 2 hours, it made a massive difference with regards to actually being able to just get all the way around it and have a look at everything. Now the Haunted House video is up and live, and there is a comparison video between the UK Haunted House and the one from Billund. So again, in the comments below, if you've seen both of them, let me know your thoughts on what ones you prefer with regards to, do you prefer the English one or do you prefer the one over in Billund? Now, I did say in that video, I quite like how all the shrubbery and everything is now starting to grow, and it is starting to hide the models a little bit, which is really nice. Now, another big difference that we're coming up to now is we've got the deep sea diver, which used to be Atlantis. This one is the submarines, where you get put underwater and then you go around on a boat. Again, that is available not from this playlist yet, but there is a video from the 2021 playlist. But I will do my best to get back to Windsor and get one of these videos uploaded, because I want to do a comparison again to the one in Billund, because Billund is actually a walkthrough rather than getting on the actual submarine, and I personally prefer the walkthrough. I think because you can just take your time. They've got lots and lots of Lego models, like sort of dotted all over the place. You can really soak in and just see everything. Obviously, no flash photography at all ever when you are looking at any fish behind a tank. So video is fine. Do not use flash photography at all, because it will spook all the fish, and it's just not. Just be careful when you do it. But you can see they've got all the nice models and things at the front, and then you've got this nice little water bit, nice water feature just to the left. Now if you look, we will walk past and through just some big gates. Now these big gates that we're about to walk through, there they are, just in front to the left and right hand side, just where that big tree is. These things will close at a certain time, and what it is that's actually where, so from here, that's where the floor changes. This is all for hotel use in the evening. So those gates will lock. They'll lock up around by Mythica. So it means in the evening you can walk from the Castle Hotel to the Lego Hotel, and then you can just have a walk around by the lake in the evening, have a look at all the lights and everything that they got on offer. And it does look very, very effective lit up at night, because they do have obviously the big water fountain and everything going. Now as we're coming through, there is actually quite a lot to take in and have a look at within these sections, because you have all the bits and pieces dotted within the trees. So if you don't stop and really try and take a look, there are stuff hidden up top, down at the bottom, and then they've got all sorts of bits and pieces that have sort of been overgrown, but then they have obviously cut it all back. But this is a really nice walk, and I would imagine that actually the models that a lot of people just skip and run past during the day will actually have the spotlights on, so you'll be able to see them in the evening. And now you've got that new pathway, which is so much better for people to get from one hotel to the other. So I did say this in the hotel video, that you've always had to walk where I've walked with your suitcase if you wanted to check into the Lego Castle, and then obviously you're bouncing off each other. So when the park's rammed and you're walking around this way, it was an absolute nightmare trying to get your luggage to the check-in of the castle. Now it's got its own private walkway, and you don't have that worry whatsoever. So that was a very, very good decision on the Legoland Windsor's half. Now we are coming into the next section. Now, before we get to Mythica, which I know everybody really likes, they've added in a load of new artwork on the front of all these dinosaurs. So all of these signs here, which you can stop and have a good read for, it's all to do with the massive dinosaur models that are dotted around within the grass. Now none of that was here last year. They finally added in some bits and pieces. It's a shame, I say this every single time, that the actual dinosaur safari ride that was relatively new to the park had to get ripped up, and then the hotel replaced it, which was the Castle Hotel. But it is what it is. At least they kept some of the models. I would like to think that maybe if they're adding in that little bit of artwork and all those different bits and pieces, it would be quite nice for them to maybe add in even more dinosaurs and things like that, so you can really stop and take some photos, or make it more of a path walkway. Just open up the fence a little bit, cut some of the grass back down, make it more of a picnic area where you can just sit down in there and just have a look at the models and get a little bit closer, because some of them are really well hidden. They are quite far away. Right, Mythica. So where we saw that sign, it is in the Mythica video, so don't worry. The brand new walkthrough attraction, which is the Magical Forest, there is a full POV tour of that as a standalone video, and then I have also added it as a silent walkthrough at the end of the full tour of Mythica. So Mythica goes all the way around to Big Loop, and then you also have this new Magical Forest as well, and it is rammed full of these amazing models. So if this is a land that really catches your eye and you really like the look of this, hunt down the 2 Mythica videos from the Legoland Windsor 2022 playlist, and we'll have a good look at all of these models in much more greater detail. And then we have a full loop and look around the actual Magical Forest. That video alone is nearly 10 minutes, and I will do a more detailed video when I go back there. But again, it's just time. It's just one of those things. I just want to get as much footage as possible for everybody so you can have a good look at. But it is what it is. But I really like Mythica. I think it's one of the better things that they've done to the Legoland Windsor Park, because the Flight of the Lion Sky, I think, is the best ride in the park. So hopefully that'll be the sort of the going standard for the rides from now on, throughout all of the Lego group, to be honest. because the Lego Movie 2 section, that is also themed well with regards to Billund and Florida. But I still think Mythica is one of the best things, and I have said this a few times, they have got some exclusive sets coming out from Legoland Mythica as regards to the actual creatures, the mythical creatures that are in the big film. So hopefully it'll start sort of being rolled out across all the other theme parks worldwide into your 4D cinemas. You guys will start learning what the characters are, and then it will be worth picking up that exclusive set. But we are now in Heartlake City. What we've just walked past is the Heartlake City shop. Again, that's available in its own video, and then we have the full Heartlake City loop video with a POV of the train as well, so we do manage to get on the train, and that takes us all around the park. And where it says welcome to Heartlake City, that is a brand new sign that they've just added at both ends of Heartlake City, so it now matches Mythica when you come in and come back out again. But that is another bright and vibrant land for Heartlake City. So we're just going to cross over the tracks. There's the train ready to go for the next bar of passengers. So we did manage to get on that, and that video will be available within this playlist somewhere, so just hunt that down. So we're now moving into the Kingdom of the Pharaohs bits and pieces. Now this might look very, very familiar with regards to some of the much older sets that came out, so I would class this as all the adventure stuff that came out back in the day, and it's got the exact same theming in the hotel rooms and certain cabins in certain places. So if you get a lodge cabin at the Holiday Village Resort in Germany, you can stay in the adventure room. Also, all the hotels as standard will have an adventure section, and it is all this exact theming. So it's nice and simple. It's just a walk straight through. Everything to the left hand side is all the laser stuff, and everything to the right hand side is more sort of maybe smaller little ones. But again, we do a full in and out tour. We go into the queue line of the adventure section, because the queue line for the laser ride is actually really nice and detailed. So I did actually manage to get in there. I managed to get all of the filming done for that ride, got all the models and things, which came out really nice and clear actually on the camera, and then managed to escape and then come back up to the top. Now when we get to the Ninjago section, you can now either go left or go right. If you go right, that would take you back up and around into the Lego City section, and also just to the bottom of the tram station. Now Ninjago is a nice sort of area. I think it's a little bit tight, to be honest. I think the entranceway is just where it is. They had no other choice, obviously, but a lot of the other Ninjago sections, they are much wider and have a much bigger area and square footage in the other parks, especially as the theme is so popular. But I could not imagine where else they could have put that section. There's no way they could have put Ninjago where Mythica was, for example, and done it the other way around, because it just wouldn't be enough space no matter what they did. So they've put it in the best place possible, but it can get a little bit tight, and obviously the queue line sometimes can be very, very busy. Having said that, I do believe that when I walked past, before me walking up to the top to film it, it was just walk on. So it is always worth checking, just seeing exactly what's what. Now they seem to have done a lot of refurb stuff over the 2021 season with regards to this Pirate Land. There's lots and lots of models, lots of looks like either exactly the same, but they've just replenished all the bricks, they've given it a good clean, or they have just put new models in. And I do believe that this gold bit here, where it's got the wash, I think that's new artwork as well. So the gold wash looks like it's got a new sign for the 2022 season. And then we come round, so you've got music playing to the left hand side. Now that music, that is to do with where some of the models and things are. And then you've got the burger kitchen. Now this burger kitchen, I quickly stick my head through. You've got a little model directly in front, and then you can see how you then just queue up to the left hand side. You can grab your burgers and all those different bits and pieces like that. So obviously it's past lunchtime, so there's nobody in there. We're still open, so if you were feeling a little bit peckish, you could have just jumped in and got it. And there's Captain Redbeard himself with his drink and the burger and his sword. I think that's another really nice model. Some lockers just behind and some toilets as well. Now talking of water, I was saying this across a lot of the other videos, that there's a huge amount of water on the floor. That is because it sprays you, look. See, so not only do you get the people wet on the log flume, what they have now done is that if you are risking to get people wet, you get the risk of getting wet yourself. And it was coming out at some rate, so some people did get absolutely drenched. But you know, with the weather hopefully that we're going to have over the summer, it's just a nice way to cool down. Now there is a new thing, So this new Pirate Blaster just here, that is brand new for 2022. That is another pay to play, and that is just beside the queue line of the log flume. And it does look like they are doing something else to the log flume queue as well, because as we go down to the left, hopefully we will see it. But as we come up, what we're going to do now is going to walk past the swinging ship. Now I really hope one day that they actually do make a big Lego set of this as part of their sort of amusement park, theme park section rides, because I think it would just be a really nice model to add in, even if it's just a completely different theming. It's just that they have that swinging ship in a couple of the different parks. To the left hand side, it's all play area. Now what we're going to do is walk through the Enchanted Forest, which I've done loads of times before, but every time I've done it before, it is either themed. So this is where they put all their Christmas bits and pieces. This is where we had the Halloween walkthrough attraction, where they had all the pumpkins and the models and everything like that. But I said this every single time I come to this bit, there is nobody here at all. Now what I have noticed, they put a lot of bark down, so as we walk around you'll notice that as it opens up, this is where the cauldron was for the Halloween video if you're comparing it to those different bits and pieces. But as we come up and round, it's all opened up where the hard play area is. And then you've got all like this, the swings and the ropes and everything like that. So this bit just here, this is all much more open. So it looks like they've taken some bits and pieces away and added this bark, whereas it never used to be like that. So you can see to the left hand side, that's open. So maybe they're going to add in some more play bits there, or it's in anticipation for the next attraction. So it'd be interesting to see how they utilize that new space for the Halloween walkthrough, because this is where they put the tables and chairs towards the end, and then that's where everybody was getting their photos and things taken with the actual Lego models. Now we're coming round the back, we're going to have a look at the castle. Now the other reason why it might have been a little bit busy in certain pockets of the day is because they were, like I said, probably getting ready for their kick off their main season and all the Ninjago weekend and everything, which is actually the weekend after me filming this. So it did mean that 2 of the rides down this way were actually closed for maintenance, and the Viking River Splash was closed, and then up at the top where you've got the Rebuild the World section and the model making studio, that was all closed. So you've got 4 or 5 attractions that were actually closed. Obviously it does put quite a bit of pressure on all the other rides, but it's just lucky dip if you do come at this season. But it was just a little bit of a shame, I think, for the little ones that both of these rides down here were down at the same time, because you've got all these models, which is obviously a really nice thing they've added down this way, because this did used to be going up the steep slope past the Viking River Splash, right at the very, very top before you sort of kicked round the top to the Rebuild the World. All of these models were there, and now they brought it down to link up the theming, and they have put a couple of different hidden Easter eggs in there. They put like some initials in the back and everything. So I think that's a really nice touch that they've done that, and they've just sort of added in a lot more theming, which I think is a lot. I think it works better down in this section. Now moving on and around, you should have had the Dragon's Apprentice behind. Now that Dragon's Apprentice was closed, and then you've got the ride to the right hand side that was also closed, and all the eateries and even the refill drink stations down here, it was all closed. So the only bit that actually was open was the main Kingdom Castle Dragon. So the whole of this sort of back part of the park, which you've got to take the long way round now to get to, because obviously, like I said, you can't just walk down the really steep slope past the Viking River Splash. Well, you can now, I would imagine. So again, like I said at the start of the video, let us know in the comments below if it's all back open. But on this specific day, you had to take the longest way possible to get to this section, but then it was only this little bit that was open. So everything that we see now, you've got toilets, you've got entry into a little bit of food, you've got a couple of models, and you can see you've got the queue line up and round across the top, so you can just follow the sort of the brown wood all the way at the top, and then you join the queue that way. So that was all that there was down there. So you can imagine that this section would have been very, very busy, because where you've got the red and white canopy tent to the right hand side, that was shut because that is the Dragon's Apprentice, and then the ride beside that was also closed, but it did say it was closed for scheduled maintenance. So it's not like they've got a massive problem. Supposedly they are just getting it ready, I would imagine. So hopefully this is now open, because this ride is popular, the Merlin's Challenge, as is the Dragon's Apprentice. I just hope that they can get all the staff and everything there to get it all open again. But again, the night ice was shut. You couldn't get any sort of drink or anything down this way at all. And I think it just puts a little bit more pressure on the other lands, because it was busy. The car park was very, very busy on the day that I was here, so I don't maybe think they're expecting as many people as they did on this day, but I was surprised myself. Cut myself off. This is new to me. That's another sign, and this takes you into the back end of the queue line for the log flume. So I don't know what this is all to do with. This bit never used to be here whatsoever. They've already got a Q-bot line, so I have no idea what that bit's going to be for. So again, as you're watching this, as this has been uploaded over a long period of time, just fill everybody in the comments below. And they've now got another Legoland coffee code to the right hand side, and then I think what we'll do, we'll loop back up on ourselves, head back towards the Enchanted Forest, but then turn right. So this bit we have quickly done, and then we're going to turn right, just walk in a straight line, and then we're just going to carry on, and then we're going to walk back up from the Ninjago section. From the Ninjago section, we will then go up, round, and then we'll start heading up towards the top. So there is lots and lots and lots of us for, there's lots and lots of things still to see. Obviously, there is only 10 minutes left of this video, but it's very much a case of I could only get back up that one way. Otherwise, what I would have done is I would have done a full circle and then a big figure of 8 of everything that was in the middle, so we will miss a couple of pockets. I was waiting for this ride to go, and I thought, yeah, brilliant, it's good. We'll get a nice video of that, and they were actually getting off, not getting on, so that was a little bit embarrassing. So we carry on and move on. Now they've got all of these models in again, so there's some good photo opportunities where you can stop and have a look at all the different bits and pieces within. And again, if you notice, the bins match, they've changed the colour of the bins, but certain pockets were quite busy. This is obviously where everybody's getting off the rides. It is coming to the end of the day as well, so there were quite a lot of people leaving, but by the time I got to the end of the day, as normal, the queue line outside the big Lego shop at the end of the day was absolutely massive. So I still think there was more people than they were expecting. You can see that should have been the way up to the land of the Vikings. That was all completely blocked off. I'm not too sure why that was blocked off, because they could have just kept that as the walkway. So maybe they're trimming down some trees as well, because if they're doing ride maintenance and the ride's closed, that's one thing, but the fact that it's completely shut from bottom to top, I think maybe they were doing some gardening work, or there might have been a tree that had fallen down. I would have liked to have known, but I never found out, so I'll get over it and we'll move on. So again, you've got the treasure chest, all the big Lego bits, you've got the big crocodile to the right hand side, and then we've got the Ninjago section that we're now going to be coming into. I think hopefully we'll either just walk past it or do a quick loop on the inside, because like I said, there's not really that much to see with regards to the inside of mouth of the Ninjago. No, we'll just skip that bit because you've just got a speed and reaction wall and you've got 1 or 2 models in there, but I did do a much bigger detailed video on that, so you've got a good 15-20 minute video of me walking around finding all of the main Ninjago characters. The good thing is about the Ninjago, even though I think it's maybe a little bit small, they have actually got 2 rides in there, because they have got the main sort of shooting ride that they've got in there, and they've got the boat ride as well, and they have also got a meet and greet character in there, and they've also got a lot of models. So they put a lot on the inside of it, but I just think it's maybe a little bit tight in places. But they've got a big rock climbing wall, so it's all there. Everything that you need it to be is there, but when it is busy, there's just not enough places to sit. So that would be my only thing I would say. Now, bottom part there, you saw that is the tram up, so you could have just sat on that and that would have taken you directly right up to the top of the park. That would have been where the tram was, and you'd been absolutely living the dream. Or you could have then walked the way I'm now going to walk back up, or like I said, you could have just taken the super steep way, which is really steep, where it actually walks you all the way up to the Viking River Splash, and then that walks you up behind Ninjago and up to the top. I'm hoping, actually, now thinking about it, that they might have been installing some new models on that pathway, so I'm intrigued. I'm still thinking about what it is, but again, you've got more hidden rides here. So we're now coming across the middle. We've just passed the adventure bit, which was by Ninjago. The adventure bit was on the right hand side. You walk in a straight line, you've got your refill bits, you're at the bottom of the tram, then you've got your fire station, and then you've got some other little rides down there. And now we're coming round. This is another new eatery. I'll give the benefit of the doubt that this is closed only because it is actually coming maybe towards the end of the day now. So this is the new burger kitchen. This was actually being installed when I was here last. in 2021, so I did wonder what the theming and things was going to be on that. If you just pause it, you'll be able to see the prices of all the burgers and everything. And it's nice that they have got quite a bit of seating just to sit down and relax in that bit, and you can grab yourself a bite to eat, so that's nice. Right, we're going to come up and back round. I think we're then going to come up, have a look at one or two of the rides maybe that are down here, so we can see how the fire bit works. We'll catch one or two of the models, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to finish it in the miniland, and I'm not going to walk all the way back up to the top, because for me to walk back up to the top it would basically be the exact same way, so that would just be pointless in me doing that. I am predicting that's what I've done. There is only 5 minutes left, so I'm guessing we'll have a quick look at this ride. I think maybe we might watch a little race. I think these people get extremely competitive, so I think we might have a quick look at this. So they are off and they are racing each other, and they do give it some, and then fire them off. But there is two, both of them are running today, so it's sometimes they only have the one side of this running, but both of them were running. So the queue line on this one I think potentially might go down quite quick, because obviously it can hold up to 4 to 6 people per thing. What I have spotted with regards to this one to a lot of the others within the actual Lego parks, they just don't have as many width-wise, but they do have 2 of them. So I don't know if that's a better thing or not, because you need 2 members of staff to run the ride. But again, if it works in where the space is in this corner, and it is a very, very popular theming. Now they have got, weirdly, in Germany, I think it's in Germany, they have got this ride, but it is actually part of their adventure section. So what it is, they have got white trucks, they're not fire trucks, and it has all the adventure theming all around the outside of it, because that is still technically part of, like it says, the balloon school, but it is kind of similar to all the adventure stuff that you would buy as the adventure sets. So they've sort of done the theming a little bit differently, where that's the adventure, the other bit's the adventure within the adventure land, whereas obviously we're not in the adventure land now, so they've just themed it slightly different. So let us know what one yours is themed like. Let us know what colour yours is in the comments below. There is obviously the red ones in Billund and this one, and I think they haven't got it in the one in Dubai. They've got one in Florida, but I can't remember what colour that one is. But yeah, the one in Germany really stood out to me because it was a completely different colour, and it wasn't called the Fire School either. So yeah, it's just something nice and different, and it's quite interesting how their laser shoots are different, because some of them spin round, some of them don't. So they are completely different as we go. Now we are going to start walking up and having a look at the different models. As we come up and round, you'll see all the Ninjago artwork. Depending on when this video gets uploaded, that weekend's now past and gone, but it is quite nice that they are now advertising all the different weekends that are coming up. So they were advertising the Ninjago weekend, they're advertising something else, and then they were also advertising the Halloween and the Christmas dates. So they are really getting everything set in stone for this year. And there was a couple of tents popping up, so if you notice just to the left hand side, there's a couple of tents that they were getting up, so I'm assuming that was for maybe the Ninjago weekend, and they were building a stage ready for the Ninjago party as such, which is just beside the new sort of the brick, where it's a nice building area. Again, that video, it's only about 3 or 4 minutes long, but I will put that up as a separate video, so anybody wondering what this new thing is, it'll just be easy enough to find. Otherwise, trying to create the titles, it's just a bit of a nightmare. So that is a bonus video that is up and about. So for the last couple of minutes, like I said, we are going to walk around the miniland. So I am starting to run out of time, guys, so if you can like and subscribe and all that good stuff, that would be absolutely fantastic. Hopefully this really quick, short and sweet tour of Legoland Windsor has been helpful with regards to how you can get from point A to point B. I will do the tour again, and I will make it longer with regards to being able to do full loops and everything. That is the new Portal of Pearl. That's obviously the live show that they got for the Ninjago weekends. They're just in the process of building all the stages, and that's all the grass, and that grass then links on, like I said, to that new building there, which is the brick, which is new for 2022 as well, which is just a nice building place. But like I said, hopefully you found it helpful, and I will make it a much longer and detailed video. We'll go around where all the rides are and try and soak in the models a little bit better next time, but I just wanted to get a full sweep, best as possible, with regards to how you just get from point A to point B. So hopefully you found it and you take it with a pinch of salt. That is not a full tour, but I'm now going to leave you with the Miniland Queen's Jubilee special. So guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. You guys take care. I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da.